What's up, everybody? Welcome back. So the Falcon is here and it is absolutely the meta for Fleet Arena. There's just no question about it. I mean, you have teams of Rebels that are just wiping through anything that's not Rebels. And in fact, my friend Snakes on a Plane, he's been doing some recording for me. He's actually got a Falcon team where he's beating the enemy team in about 30 seconds. It's absolutely crazy. But really, I think that this means that we have a Falcon meta here, but there are a lot of people out there who don't have the Millennium Falcon, and that's understandable. Not everybody had the Bounty Hunter ships ready to go for this Falcon event. So today, I want to talk to you guys about some teams you can use to counter the Falcon, show you some footage of those teams beating the Falcon, and talk about the strengths and weaknesses of those teams, and why I think that the Falcon is the beginning of a reset for the meta and fleet, and why I think that it's kind of just clearing the board and paving the way for a whole new meta in the future. So here is the team that I found to be the most reliable, and big shocker, it's Geonosians. I think the metaphor of them being bugs is pretty apt here because, we keep crushing them, they constantly get destroyed on defense, but they just keep coming back. They're pretty much an anti-meta team, much like Night Sisters in the regular PvP arena. These Geonosians are a great way to counter the Falcon. And basically, you want to use a Thrawn lead of the capital ship here because you want to use his Annihilate to slowly chew through the Rebel fleet. But really, the lineup needs to be Houndstooth up front and Geonosian Soldier, that's for certain. Now, I've seen people alternate Sunfac and Geonosian Spy in that first reinforcement slot. It really depends on how well they're upgraded. Spy and Soldier are pretty squishy. They can get picked off pretty easily if you don't have them geared up. If you don't have them geared up, throw out Sunfac in front and then use Spy as the reinforcement. And pretty much with the Sunfac reinforcement, he can stun someone that has buffs. With the Spy reinforcement, can also then force a taunt on someone. And if that force taunt is on Millennium Falcon, ooh, that's a pretty good roll there, but that's a lot of RNG to hope for. So a lineup like this with the Geonosians, Houndstooth, and Sunfac or Spy in that reinforcement slot, then Vader, Plo Koon, and Lando's Millennium Falcon. Now the goal here with this team is to survive. You have to endure. It's not fun, but that's just the way it is, and this is what I found to be the most reliable of the teams for countering the Millennium Falcon Rebels teams. Basically, you just want to keep your Houndstooth and Sunfac alive and wait for Grand Admiral Thrawn to use his special ability with the strategic dominance where he can automatically kill someone on the enemy team, restore health and protection to your team as well. So you do want to go for that, and really, the Plo Koon reinforcement is going to help heal them up. Houndstooth and Sunfac can really just keep that protection and heal themselves up. And Sunfac actually, with his unique, whenever a buffed enemy starts their turn, he gains turn meter, defense, and taunt until the end of the enemy's turn. And because Millennium Falcon's always going to have outmaneuver on it, you're always going to get taunting with Sunfac's Geonosian Starfighter. So enough of that, let's go and get into the gameplay while I talk to you guys about how to use this team exactly and the strengths and weaknesses of everything. So coming out of the gate, hopefully if things are done correctly, you're facing a team of 3 enemy rebels. If that happens, you're going to have Millennium Falcon put outmaneuver on itself and then use its AoE, which will supercharge the turn meter on Houndstooth, at which point it can taunt. If it doesn't, you're going to have to be a little smarter here. You may have to use Sunfac up front instead of using Spy and have Spy as a reinforcement, because if you're not careful, Spy can get picked off pretty easily. But really, at this point, you want to get the taunting on Houndstooth so that it can constantly absorb the hits, and hopefully Spy and Soldier are going to stay stealth, so they have no choice but to attack Houndstooth. Now, if Houndstooth does get the taunt dispelled on it, it's going to gain a lot of bonus tenacity and bonus defense, and that's really going to help it survive. You do want to have the taunt get dispelled on Houndstooth, because then that means that it's actually going to be a lot stronger and withstand more attacks, but that has the trade-off of hoping that your Geonosians stay in stealth. Now, once you call in Sunfac as a reinforcement, go for one of the more versatile rebels on the other team that's going to have taunt, like Biggs. He can call assist. If they have Ghost or Phantom out there, that would also be really helpful if you get a stun on them, especially if it's Phantom or if it's Ghost, because then you can prevent them from doing the mass assist and doing a lot of damage to your team. But really, the whole point of this team is to survive, and it's not fun. I get that, it sucks. But really, this is the problem with fighting these Millennium Falcon teams. If you don't have Falcon, you don't have a straight up chance of winning against that team. You have to use some basically underhanded tactics and just kind of cheat your way to a win here, and that means holding on until you can get the strategic dominance with Thrawn activated, and then you can go ahead and start wiping out those enemy ships. So really, if they have a Houndstooth on the enemy team, obviously you want to use strategic dominance on that, because Houndstooth otherwise is going to be really hard to kill. But basically, you just want to work your way down through the rebels, and using Vader here can be really helpful because he can use his basic, that he can apply target lock, he can remove buffs with his special, and really with him, target lock's going to stay around, and that's going to be great for you. It's going to be really helpful too. But really, just survive is the whole key here, and this is pretty much what you're going to have to use with Geonosians for the most part since forever, is just holding on, using the ultimate with Thrawn to wipe out the enemy team, and just slowly churning your way to a victory. So, you know, it's pretty simple concept once you get a hang of it. I tried a couple battles, it took a couple battles to practice it and get it down, but once I got it down, I was pretty much winning every time, except for times where I fought the TIE Silencer, and really, that actually calls into another team that we've seen that actually was used to counter the Mace Windu meta, where basically you were using a TIE Silencer and hide it behind Houndstooth and using Vader with those two ships to basically put target lock on the enemy team and have TIE Silencer slowly build up its offense. And that's another team I've seen actually climbing up through the fleet arena ranks, is pretty much you use that TIE Silencer's just massive amounts of damage that slowly builds up, and you just one-shot ships and you just take them out, and you just go ahead and kill the whole team. You don't really have to use, you don't have to rely on the ultimate from Thrawn so much, but the ultimate with Thrawn plus the one-shot hits from the TIE Silencer really helps make it easy. So if you do have the TIE Silencer built up, not the Geonosians, that's another team you can go for. So, you know, TIE Silencer and the Geonosians, those are your two fleets that you can really use to counter the rebels. You do have to make sure that you use the Thrawn capital ship, because you need that ultimate to help wipe out the enemy team. Now, I also said that the Falcon's pretty overpowered. I think we have a reset coming to fleet here. And pretty much what it is in my opinion, Falcon's a little too strong. I mean, it can just churn through teams if you either have the Falcon or you don't have the Falcon. It's sort of the same thing with like Trey or Revan. You have them or you don't have them. If you don't have them, you're going to be struggling a lot more until, you know, C-3PO came out and made Rebels much more meta. But for now, we don't have any real answers to the Falcon, and that's why I think that they're basically resetting the board, clearing the way for a new meta down the road, which is probably going to be General Grievous when he gets a rework. We're going to see a rework with him. We're going to see a new Separatist fleet be the new meta, and I think that the Falcon's paving the way for that, because they want to have everybody invest their materials into this Rebel fleet, you know, spend all those resources, because everybody's been hoarding for a while. So people are going to go crazy, spend on Rebel fleets, and then we're going to see General Grievous get reworked 2 or 3 months down the road. We're going to see him get a capital ship. We're going to see Separatists become the brand new meta and fleet. And it's going to be a whole new meta. And I think that's what they're going for here. We've seen it before in other areas. And that is pretty much why I think that we're going to see this new meta that's going to force everybody to spend a lot more resources. But first, they're going to have to give something for us to dump our resources into. And I mean, the Falcon Rebel fleet is pretty much it. Nobody really invests in Rebels for a long time. They haven't been meta since pretty much fleets came out so long ago. What's been 2 years, I think? 1.5 years? I don't know. Fleet's been out for a long time. But I think at this point that everyone's trying to invest in the Rebels like crazy. We're dumping a ship Omegas, we're dumping fleet resources and reinforcements, we're dumping prestige into capital ships with Akbar. I think that we should be a little cautious here and hold off and kind of stockpile some resources, because I have a feeling that we will see a new meta down the road in just a couple months, and I think that it's going to be something that's just going to completely redefine the fleet. It's going to be probably going to be General Grievous, and it's just going to completely redefine what we see as the meta. So I think that if you're going crazy and trying to dump everything you have into Rebels, save some of that, because here soon we will probably see that new fleet meta with Grievous. So that is my opinions on the fleet. You know, the Geonosians and TIE Silencer, great ways to counter the Falcon. You basically just have to survive, use that ultimate with Thrawn, and just kind of hold on and work your way through that fleet team slowly. If you have the Falcon, by all means use it. If you don't have the Falcon, your options are very limited here if you want to be competitive. So that is gonna be it for this video, guys. Let me know what you all think about the Falcon, the new meta. What do you guys think we're going to be seeing with the fleet here in the near future? Do you guys agree with it being Grievous and they're just making us dump our resources into Rebels? Let me know what you guys think down below. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Big thank you to all of my patrons for their monthly donations. Can't do this without you guys. And as always, guys, thanks again for watching. I will talk to you guys later.